गणपति शारदा गुरुभ्यो नमः हरितं रघुनाथस्य शतकोटिप्रविस्तरम् एकैकमक्षरं पुंसां महापातकनाशनम्. Welcome to all for this session on Sri Rama Charitha Manasa. Everything is set for the birth of Sri Rama, the incarnation of Sri Rama into four beings as Rama, Lakshmana, Bharata, and Shatrughna. The three queens of Dasharatha are pregnant with their babies. Position of the sun and the moon, the zodiacal sign into which the sun had entered, position of the seven other planets, the day of the week, as well as the day of the lunar month, yoga, lagna, planet, day, lunar day, all these turned out to be propitious and full of delight was all creation, animate and inanimate, for the birth of Sri Rama is the source of joy. It was the ninth day of the bright half of the sacred month of Chaitra. The moon had entered the asterism named Abhijit, which is so dear to Sri Hari. The sun was at its meridian. The day was neither cold nor hot. It was a holy time which gave rest to the whole world. A cool, soft, and fragrant breeze was blowing. The gods were feeling exhilarated, and the saints were bubbling with enthusiasm. The woods were full of blossoms. The mountain were resplendent with gems, and every river flowed a stream of nectar. When Brahma perceived that the time of Sri Rama's birth had approached, all the gods came out with their aerial cars duly equipped. The bright heaven was crowded with their hosts, and troops of Gandharvas chanted praises and rained down flowers, placing them in their beautiful palms. The sky resounded with a beat of kettle drums. Nagas, sages, and gods offered praises and tendered their services in manifold ways. Having offered their praises, the gods returned to their several abodes. When the Lord and abode of the universe and the solace of all creations manifested himself. The gracious Lord, who is compassionate to the lowly and the benefactor of Kausalya, appeared. The thought of his marvelous form, which stole the heart of the sages, filled the mother with joy. His body was dark as a cloud, the delight of all eyes. In his forearms he bore his characteristic emblems: a conch shell, a discus, a club, and a lotus, adorned with jewels and a garland of sylvan flowers, and endowed with large eyes. The slayer of the demon Kara was an ocean of beauty. Joining both her palms, the mother said, O infinite Lord, how can I praise you? The Vedas as well as the Puranas declare you as transcending Maya, Guna, made of Prakriti and beyond all measure. He who is sung by the Vedas and holy men as an ocean of mercy and bliss and the repository of all virtues, the same Lord of Lakshmi, the lover of his devotees, has revealed himself for my good. The Vedas proclaim that every pore of your body contains multitudes of universes brought forth by Maya. That such a Lord stayed in my womb, this amusing story staggers the mind of even men of wisdom. When the revelation came upon the mother, the Lord smiled. He would perform many a sportive act. Therefore, he exhorted her by telling her the charming account of her previous birth so that she might love him as her own child. The mother's mind was changed. She spoke again. Give up this superhuman form and indulge in indulge in childish sports which are so dear to a mother's heart. The joy that comes from such sports is unequaled in every way. Hearing these words, the all wise Lord of immortals became an infant and began to cry. Those who sing this lay, says Tulsi Dasa, attain to the abode of Sri Hari and never fall into the well of mundane existence. For the sake of Brahmanas, cows, gods, and saints, the Lord who transcends Maya and is beyond the three modes of Prakriti, Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas, as well as beyond the reach of the senses, took birth as a man, assuming a form which is a product of his own will. On hearing the most pleasing sound of the baby's cries, all the queens came in a flurry, maid servants ran helter skelter in great delight. All the people of the city were transported with joy. When the tidings of the birth of a son reached Dasharatha's ears, he was drowned, as it were, in the ecstasy of absorption into Brahma. With a mind saturated with the highest love and with a body thrilling all over with joy, he sought to rise while attempting to recover his senses. The same Lord whose very name brings blessings with it, even when it reaches one's ears, has arrived at my house. He said to himself, and the thought filled his mind with supreme joy. Sending for musicians, he said, play on your instruments. The preceptor Vasista was also invited, and he called at the palace door with a train of Brahmanas. They all went and gazed upon the peerless baby who was an embodiment of beauty and possessed excellences more than what one could tell. After performing the Nandi Mukha Shraddha, the king completed all the Jatakarma rites connected with the birth of the child and made gifts of gold, cows, raiment, and jewels to the Brahmanas. The city was full of flags and banners and festal arches. It was decorated in a way which defied description. Showers of flowers dropped from heaven. Everybody was wrapped in the joy of absorption into Brahma. Women streamed forth in troops. They came running in their natural way, carrying jars of gold and salvers full of auspicious articles. They entered the portals of the royal palace, singing as they went along, waving lights and passing offerings round and round over the child's head. As an act of exorcism, they threw themselves at the baby's feet again and again. Bards, minstrels, panegyrists, and songsters chanted Solomon praises of the Lord of Raghus. Everyone gave whatever one possessed. Even he who received did not retain it. All the lanes of the city were muddy with pastes of musk, sandal, and saffron. There was happy music of festivity in every house, for the very fountain of beauty had manifested himself. All the men and women of the city were full of joy everywhere. Kaikeyi and Sumitra each gave birth to lovely boys. The joy, grandeur, solemnity of the occasion and the concourse of men were more than what Sharada and the Serpent King could describe. The city of Ayodhya wore a gala appearances. It looked as if night had come to see the Lord, and feeling abashed, as it were, at the sight of the sun, her own Lord. had deliberately stayed over in the form of twilight. Clouds of incense represented the dusk, the handful of red powder tossed up and wafted in the air presented the reddish light of sunset. The hosts of jewels that gleamed the housetops looked like so many stars, while the round pinnacle on the top of the royal palace corresponded to the beautiful moon. The sound of the chanting of Veda in the palace resembled the chirping of birds appropriate to the occasion. Gazing upon this spectacle, the sun forgot himself. The whole month passed without his knowing it. The day assumed the length of a month, but no one could understand the mystery. The sun stood motionless with his chariot. How could there be any night at all? Nobody noticed this strange phenomenon. The sun at last moved ahead, singing the praises of Sri Rama as he went, witnessing the great festival. The gods, sages, and Nagas proceeded to their several abodes, congratulating themselves on their good luck. I tell you one more covert act of mine. Listen to it, says Shiva to Girija. O Girija, for I know your steadfast faith. The sage Kakabushundi and myself both were there together in human form without anyone knowing it. Elated with supreme joy and the delight of love, we roamed about the streets in ecstasy, forgetting ourselves. He alone who enjoyed Sri Rama's grace could be apprised of this blessed adventure of ours. On that occasion, the king granted the desire of everyone's heart. In whatever manner one came, he bestowed elephants, chariots, horses, gold, cows, diamonds, and costumes of various kinds. All were satisfied in their heart and invoked blessings here and there, saying, May all the sons of Dasharatha live long, those lords of Tulasi Dasa. Thus, Lord took birth in the house of King Dasharatha. Namaste Sharada Devi, Kashmira Puravasini, Twamaham Prarthage Nityam, Vidya Danancha Dehime. Bye.
श्रीरामचन्द्र कृपाल भज मन हरण भव भयदारुणं श्रीरामचन्द्र कृपाल भज मन हरण भव भयदारुणं श्रीराम 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 श्रीराम